Today on the news and why it matters, China is just banning all the things, all things American, banning all the things. Got a lot to get into. Starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez. Joined with me, Glenn Beck.
Yes, here, present.
Here again. I like this jacket, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're the one.
Super gear.
You like my jacket? It says the name of our company on it.
I mean, I have to say I like your jacket.
I like that. Where do you get that, Stu?
Where do you get
probably
that?
on the website.
On the website?
Shop.theblaze.com?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Not the place. Yes, what you said.
Chief researcher of the Glenn Beck program, Jason Buttrell.
Part of me is here.
I know. I know. You lost a little bit there.
You are not ever going to be mistaken for Rapunzel.
Ah, dang it.
Got a lot to get into. First, we want to thank our sponsor, American Financing, who I know, Glenn, originally, before the crash in 2008, you were like, I'm not doing business with any of you guys.
Yeah, because everybody was, I thought everybody was in on it. And it turns out most everybody was. The banks were all denying that there was even a problem. And I had been talking since 2000, I think almost 4 or 5. This housing thing that's going on is crazy. Get out of that. Don't do that. Don't. It's going to be a collapse. They called me right before the collapse and they said, we agree with you. And I said, yeah, well, you guys are part of the problem. They're like, no, we're not. And I said, well, when it collapses, call me and we'll see how well you did. They weathered and their customers weathered everything fine because they weren't jamming people into crazy loans. So if you want to be fiscally responsible, if you're looking for a loan, might be a refi, might be a new home, could be a consolidation loan, these are the people to call. And the number's on the screen.
So China. Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
No.
AmericanFinancing.net.
Does that make you happier?
No, I just thought maybe you could hold the yawn until you were off camera 1 second later. Because you've only done it 94 times today.
I don't know what it is.
I don't either.
I don't know what it is.
I would
Do you
like
think
a
I want to live my
doctor
life
call
this? You think I want to live like this?
I was going to let it go, by the way. I just,
I'm tired all the time. I yawn all the time. Yes. I am fat. I mean, what else do we need to say? I got it. I am not the picture of health.
Off to a good start, obviously, here at the News and Why It Matters. So yesterday in overtime, we talked about what was his name? The Houston Rockets GM,
Daryl Morey.
Daryl Morey. Mm-hmm. And he had come out and made the controversial statement, or just a screenshot.
Yeah,
saying,
that's what I love about this. It's like not even effort put behind supporting the troops in Hong Kong. He's like, that looks good. I don't think he put any thought into it at all.
No.
I've actually seen that several times. I thought it was something about World Soccer.
Yeah.
I didn't even read it.
That is not good marketing.
Yeah, no, not good.
So China has now announced today that China has now announced today that they are going to cease the broadcasting of NBA preseason games because Commissioner Adam Silver actually announced his support of free speech.
Which is hilarious. Like, I read that same statement, and I don't think he did anything.
I didn't think so either.
I thought it was another terrible statement from the NBA. It was like, oh, well, we'll never crack down on what people say or players say or GMs say. And it's like, well, that's the whole story here, is that you guys are at least pressuring this guy into silence. And then now China's mad about that? I mean,
shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
China, shut up. Where is my shut up t-shirt? I want a shut, and then you could buy it shop.whatever.
Shop.theblaze.com.
I want a shut up t-shirt, because that's what needs to be said to most people now. Shut up.
This is not the story to me. The story is, this is just one case, and I think it's funny that it's just now coming out now.
Well,
but this is
over and over and over again.
Decades of China doing this.
Remember when George Bush was in office and they were sending our pets poisonous lead-filled food, and George Bush was like, I like them. I'm going to have some kibbles and bits myself.
But this is the reason why China has had the power that they've had on the world economic stage. Because big businessmen, lots of them from our country, they're easily intimidated by China. And they want what do they have?
1.3
billion people? They want that market. So they don't care. They really do not care. They're like Google.
This is the worst example, and it's all led by lefties. This is the worst example of awful capitalism.
Yeah.
We're talking a place that actually has your shoes and your crap made by actual slaves. And the left is like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
The slave camp, the slave labor camp is right next to the actual concentration camp for Muslims. Right. But then you have people, like I said, like Google, some of the biggest liberal donors ever,
Helping
are
them.
changing the rules to help them operate over there. It's absolutely nuts.
It's particularly agonizing coming from the NBA, who lectures all of us all the time.
Shut up.
Yeah, no,
Shut up.
I mean, think
But I feel like this episode, if you did have your T-shirt, you could just sit there and just point to it. The entire episode.
Shut up.
I mean, James Harden makes $28.3 million a year, and he is not oppressed by any longer, at least, by having an owner of the team, because that was so racist. They changed it to governor. They're team governors now. They're not team owners, even though they own the
they
teams.
didn't.
Yes, they did. That was one of their woke moves over the past year.
Oh, my God.
And they can't.
missed this.
I mean, that's unbelievable, right?
It's crazy.
They can't call China out for being a place that is abusing human rights. They can't even say, they didn't even say that. They just said, I stand up for Hong Kong, which, you know what? If China doesn't murder all of them, then, we're not going to have anything to worry about.
Here's the thing. I want to be.
Like, right now, they're just in the streets. They're talking, we want freedom. But you know what? As long as China doesn't start slaughtering all these people, most likely, the
They're
world is
going to.
Well, it's not like they have a record of doing that, Glenn.
No, only 60 million people. Look, here's what I would like the NBA to say. You know what? We really believe in freedom, and we like the people in China. We love the people of China. People of China are great. They support us. They like basketball. We love them. Their leaders, did you see that one? I don't remember if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but the Omen, where, the priest is driving by in the glass truck and the glass slides through and chops his head off. We'd like that to happen to every member of the Communist Party. Just saying. That's what we should be willing to say.
Yeah.
These guys are evil.
I mean, look, they'll lose lots of money, but I mean, think about what's at stake here. Right now, there is a protester, person who is standing up against the communist government in China, who took a picture on social media with him about to light the flag, the Chinese flag, on fire with a mask over his face. Well,
Is this in Hong Kong?
This is in China.
Oh, wow.
They found him. He is now in prison.
Probably with Google or Facebook technology.
Probably,
Yeah.
very possible. He is now in prison. But the extra, you want to just rub some salt in the wound, addition to the story is in the initial picture that he got arrested for, he's wearing a Houston Rockets jersey. Wow. These people look to America and they see things that they want, that they believe in, freedom, that someone's going to stand up for them. Their own fans are being imprisoned by this government and they can't even call it out. It's pathetic. And the fact that China is reacting negatively to that statement from Silver is amazing.
They are going to be, by the way, tomorrow I'm going to be tweeting a picture of President Xi in a guillotine.
That will likely also be banned in China.
I might have the president of the NFL or the NBA holding his head. I'm just saying.
I don't think any of this is good, and I'm afraid Trump might retweet it, so please don't.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Now listen, wait. Here is, I've lost it. There was something else that I wanted to say that was really important. Oh, here it is. The
Just love
not
television,
enough oxygen.
people.
So I've been gone for a
Your
while.
mental health is, the focus is as good as your physical health
Right.
today.
Here's the thing. These guys, mark my words, write this down in the Glenn Beck of crazy things that he said. Leave the guillotine thing off. Crazy things that Glenn Beck predicted. These companies will be known as the same kind of people as the Nazi collaborators were. These are collaborators with absolute evil. They are as evil. The Communist Party of China that has killed over 60 million people have in their concentration camps now anywhere from 2 to 10 million people, and it's getting bigger. They are locking all of their people down. Believe me, in the end, might be 70 years from now, might be 2. In the end, these companies are going to so regret it because they will be exactly like the companies that helped build the gas chambers.
And, you say that as if it's an insult, right? That, hey, a Nazi collaborator, that sounds pretty darn bad. Except for the regime we're talking about has killed 3 times as many people. Like, this is, the Nazis were really, really bad. The Chinese government has been, they're as bad. They've been as wide as far as the amount of people they've been able to kill.
Have you ever had pork fried rice?
A long time ago. It's been a while.
well,
but General Tsao
saying.
again.
General Chow.
Even though
Tsao.
I'll go General Tsao. No.
Yeah, it is.
The NBA preseason games, not the only thing China has banned. Also South Park, because South Park.
And I love what South Park did.
Yeah.
Their statement
This
was
is what Americans should do.
Yes, yeah. So South Park, of course, they had an episode where they were, basically sticking it to China. Watch.
This is all wrong.
No, it's good, kids. They're loving it.
Yeah, but I can't sell my soul like this. I want to get away from that farm, more than anything. But it's not worth living in a world where China controls my country's art.
什么？你这个看不起我？
I don't care how many people you have. I've got something in me that just won't let me be a part of all this. Yeah, whatever it is, I've got it too. Yeah. I want to be proud of who we are, guys. And anybody who would betray their ideals just to make money in China isn't worth a lick of spit.
I mean, how did they call it? Remember, they released this before the controversy.
Yes.
Now, I know it's an ongoing issue, as you pointed out, Jason, but talk about a well-timed episode.
Oh, I'd like to be in front of NBA headquarters with a giant truck full of speakers just playing that over and over again. I mean, what they said, do you have the quote?
Yeah, it's up here.
Listen to this. Like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censor into our homes and into our hearts. We too love money more than freedom and democracy. Z doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune into our 300th episode on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May the autumn sorghum harvest be bountiful. We good now, China?
I love how they worked in the promo for the episode in the middle of it, too.
I know.
Brilliant, brilliant. And that's the way Americans should behave. When I was growing up, we had an evil empire, and it was Russia. It was the Soviet Union. And that's the kind of stuff we used to say. Oh, you don't like it? Oh. But now we are in bed. We are bowing to them.
President Reagan, that was some of his best one-liners and his comedic performances was just doing stuff like that directly towards the Soviets.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing. Like, can you imagine a president in the past 3 decades
Saying anything about China?
anything like that?
I will tell you, the only president that has done anything on China is Donald Trump. We talked to an expert today on China who is outlining how dangerous China really is, how bad China really is. And he said the only one who has the balls to do anything has been Donald Trump. And I'm against tariffs, and I wish he wouldn't do it with tariffs, but with China, good. Shut them down.
I wonder, you wonder how much of this, because it does seem like they're stepping up the aggression here, right? Like this is not just, they've always been trying to do this, but lately it seems like it's increasing.
Could we just hear, can I hear it again, that they are banning the NBA?
The NBA preseason games.
They have stopped show. Yeah, they will not show any more of the NBA preseason
Makes me
games.
so happy.
Oh, good. I mean, look, the NBA deserves to lose every dollar they make from China, every dollar, because
And some of ours.
Yeah, I mean, I think people were going to be pissed off about it, right? I mean, I don't.
Will they though? Because does the average American even understand what's going on in Hong Kong?
Probably.
I don't think they do.
Probably not.
They have a media who's not telling them unless they're listening to us, unless they have Blaze.
Sports fans won't care.
No, I mean, look, I don't, as I always say, I don't think boycotts are the answer to these things, but I do think that, standing up and being able to say, this is what we believe, it should not be beyond an American institution like the NBA.
We are a secondary market. Americans, you have to get used to this. We are a secondary market. That's why Crazy Rich Asians and a lot of movies, that horrible Great Wall, the Matt
Damon thing.
Matt Damon
like,
thing.
what is this? What is he doing? And they're like, oh, they paid him $500 million. You're like, oh, okay.
We are a secondary market. We are used to all of our stories being here. Look at what Disney is doing. A lot of theirs are Asia-based stories because that's where the population is. That's where the money is. I've had several meetings with producers, Amazon, Netflix. They don't care about America. They really don't. Well, they're not trying to make programs that are specific for America. They want to make programs that can go and be used all around the world. We are not a primary market. You get America, you get everybody else. It's not that way anymore.
All right, back in a minute. That's a great point.
Feels kind of like the 80s, really, but it was Japan at the time.
Before we get back into the conversation, we want to thank our sponsor, Genesis 950. So I am the only female at the table, which means I'm probably the only one who cleans the house. Is anyone going to?
You sexist. That is not okay.
Am I wrong?
No,
yes,
you're
not wrong at all.
Last night, I was cleaning the house. Last night.
What did you do?
I cleaned our bathroom and I cleaned the closets.
Really? Congratulations. Good job.
I did not.
You,
I have never.
Did you guys buy that?
Oh, yeah. Edit that out.
All right.
Affiliates.
so for anyone out there who cleans the house like me, because I am a
And
woman
me.
and also Hispanic, though, so I have more street cred
Wow,
for this. I
you
feel.
were a racist and a sexist. This is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. She can say that, though.
I can.
She's Jewish.
If you have if you're
that's the
cleaning
only reason why
your
she's in
house,
media.
if you're cleaning your house and you have any sort of really bad carpet stains, odors, maybe pet odors that you can't remove, I would know because I'm a crazy cat lady. Genesis 950 is your go-to for any of those odors that you can't get out, any of those carpet stains that you can't get out, whatever it is from. Stu, to be fair, your wife has used Genesis 950.
Yes, she loves it.
When your cat comes over to his house.
Yes.
They would never allow my cat at their house.
Oh, definitely not.
Does your cat look like that cat on that commercial there? Look at
No,
that cat.
it is a little bit. I don't know
That's
why the
weird.
tongue is
Why
out.
is the tongue out?
I don't.
That's like,
Cats are not supposed to pant.
It's kind of mid-yawn.
I'm a cat. Cats, that's humiliating, a picture for a cat.
Dog's tongue is out too.
Here we go.
You're
Here we go.
Dog looks like
It's
that.
unbelievable.
Here we go.
The
Racist.
dogs look like that. The
Sexist.
cats are like.
With water, Genesis 950 will break down the bonds of stains and odors so that they're gone for good. And it has an antibacterial component that it removes all of it. We here at Blaze have had really amazing luck with it. I know Pat has tried it. Well, his
Good
wife
God,
has.
shut up with the stinky carpet because your cat poos in your house. Let's move on, for the love of Pete. Give me a
You
phone
can go
call.
to
I'll buy a box of it.
Genesis950.com. Use promo code BLAZE and you can get a free spray bottle and a discount. I'm sorry about that, Genesis 950. That's
No, it's
Genesis950.com. I swear to you it works really well. You should go buy it.
Right. Except it
my-
makes your cat look like a.
It does not.
No, that cat. That cat does not look good. Cats are supposed to look like, ew, I didn't want to speak to you. That cat does not look like that. That cat's like, oh, you be my friend. I got a dog who's my friend too.
Elizabeth Warren is, of course, out on the campaign trail, always having to be the victim of something, I guess. She is out telling everyone how she was fired when her employer found out that she became pregnant once.
I was visibly pregnant. And the principal did what principals did in those days. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. And the principal did what principals did in those days.
I didn't hear that
Wished
last
me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant.
That's a laugh
Wished
line.
me
She's
luck
not-
Yeah.
and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. Wished me luck and hired someone else for the job. I was visibly pregnant. He wished me luck and hired someone else for the job.
Now, you'd think the number of times she repeated it in all those different places, she would have gotten the delivery right.
Yeah, it's a
both
comedic
sides.
line, not a single laugh. And I like the arm swing every time. She's got that arm swing down. Yeah, there's a problem with this.
There is there.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Well, is that a problem, really?
Well,
days.
no, I mean,
It's a good story.
Look,
It makes her into a
look.
victim. I think she just keeps it. Who cares if it's true?
Elizabeth Warren, she wasn't pregnant, but she did what all politicians do nowadays. You know, lied and hoped for luck.
So that was Elizabeth Warren 2019. So let's see how she pairs up against Elizabeth Warren 2007. Watch.
I worked, it was in a public school system, but I worked with the children with disabilities. And I did that for a year. And then that summer, I actually didn't have the education courses, so I was on an emergency certificate, it was called. And I went back to graduate school and took a couple of courses in education and said, I don't think this is going to work out for me. And I was pregnant with my first baby.
like
So
Mark
I had a baby
is conducting the interview.
and stayed home for a couple of years. And I was really casting
show 'em
about,
again.
thinking, what am I going to do?
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, different story.
I would like to see both of those Elizabeth Warrens in the next debate. They can fight against each other.
No,
I would love that.
they've never been seen in the same room.
Really?
Never been seen in the same room. A lot of people say they're the same person. I don't believe it, but they've never been seen in the same room. Here's the problem. First of all, I would have been old enough to be in one of her classes. She's older than me. She would have been a teacher if she was pregnant. I remember having pregnant teachers. I don't remember that's what the principals used to do, was just fire teachers. If you don't have certificates, then you probably shouldn't have been teaching in the first place, but you probably got special dispensation. And then in the summer, what's crazy about this story is, can somebody check the age of her children? Because we could track that down. We could track that down. How pregnant was she while she was in school?
I think I've heard that it's 4 months. She was 4 months pregnant.
That's not visibly pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like, I don't understand why visibly pregnant's part of the story, right? Like, at 4
It's
months.
obviously her key talking point.
What this is-
visibly pregnant.
She is trying to create this image of a man walking in. Oh my God, Belly, get out! That woman she's knocked up. Get out of this building. That's what she's trying to create, right? In reality, of course, at 4 months, every woman is telling people around them that they're pregnant. It's a wonderful, joyous time in many
Unless
cases.
you want to kill the child.
That's a good point. It's not always a wonderful, joyous,
Right.
at least for the kid.
I think the Washington Free Beacon, I think it was like maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago, they came out with the actual records.
The minutes from the
minutes from the was it the city council or whatever?
Yeah, the Board of Education
Board of
meeting.
Education. And it actually said in there that they were making a case saying we want her here. They actually wanted to expedite, I think, her teaching certificate that she was just talking about. And then when she finally decided to leave, they said that she tendered her own resignation.
Yeah.
And then it's at another line under that, with our regret.
But
They
that was
were
a lie.
accepted.
In 1970, they knew she was going to run for president. They wanted to forge that document.
I think there's
Why lie about it?
I think there's two interesting parts about this. One, it talks about her philosophy, right? She has to be seen as a victim. She has to she wants everyone else to see the world as she sees it, which is that the world sucks. America's terrible. It's an awful place. Everyone's always a victim of everything. And it exists to torture you, so elect me so I can fix it.
Could I please, as the only one that is old enough to have been at the age of a student of hers at that time, my grandfather we'd sit at the table. I remember one time in particular, because we'd sit at the table, we'd tell stories, okay, afterwards. And they started talking about when my mom was pregnant with me. And my grandfather went, ladies. And they all looked at him, and he kind of looked at me, and they're like, what? And then they started talking again. And he was like, ladies, there are gentlemen at the table. And my grandmother said, Ed, it's not 1942. We're just talking about pregnancy. And he was like, oh my gosh, and got up. That was my grandfather, okay? An old, decrepit guy in like 1971, all right? And all the women were like, Dad, stop it, okay? It wasn't that way. It wasn't that way.
I think it also reveals, though, something about her personally, right? Like, think about what she's doing here. These are people that helped her while she was young in her career, that tried to nurture her through a time where she wasn't even qualified to do a job. And she's willing for, making a story a slight percentage better, willing to torture them and trash their memories. Why doesn't she have any? Because she has no loyalty to people that actually helped her.
We have to find the principal. We have to find the principal
Jason.
that supposedly fired her.
Mike,
Get on it.
could be a.
Oh no.
At least it's in English.
Yeah, right.
50 years ago, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It may not be a principal.
Hey, we're about to go into overtime, which you can catch on the podcast. You've got to subscribe and rate it if you have not already. Here are a couple reviews for you. One of them, I gave it 5 stars because Sarah said that Stuber Gear would cook me dinner if I did. I like steak and Sundays are good for me. Whenever you want to come over, Stu.
Cool. Post your address in the review, please.
One more. I really do listen every day. Appreciate the commentary. There are 2 adults, 3 kids in my house. We like medium rare steaks, Caesar salad, and garlic mashed potatoes.
This is working.
Stu, get on it.
This is working.
Those of you, tell us what you'd like to eat.